Yo, yo, it's JSF. I hope y'all doing well. And I know the title of this video looks nuts, but before y'all kill me for this title of this video, hear me out for at least the first minute, right? I love Mortal Kombat. I always have loved Mortal Kombat. I grew up with Mortal Kombat. I was born in the 90s. For those of y'all who know, those of y'all who don't know, the first Mortal Kombat game I really played that I owned was Deadly Alliance. I, picked Sub-Zero, then I picked Frost, and that's where my becoming a Frost main even comes from. That's the first Mortal Kombat game I learned all the combos in, did all the conquest trials, all that good stuff. My Mortal Kombat history goes way, way back. I remember seeing MK3 arcade cabinets like in movie theaters and restaurants and whatnot. Like as a kid, the 90s Mortal Kombat movie. I am what you would refer to as a Mortal Kombat fan. I love the franchise. I love almost all the games. Almost, there's a few bad ones in there. But I think the franchise is great. So when I say this, hey, has Mortal Kombat always been trash or was Mortal Kombat ever good? I don't mean the games were never fun. I don't mean the games were never enjoyable. I don't mean that you shouldn't have liked them. Hell, I've enjoyed every Mortal Kombat game. I've enjoyed this game. This game is trash. You know what I mean? So when I say that, I don't want people to get the wrong idea, say, wow, you're just hating on Mortal Kombat. You just you don't even like it, just play something else. I don't mean it in that sense. I mean from a serious competitive skill-based standpoint, was it ever you know what I mean? Was it ever good? From a competitive skill-based standpoint, was the game always trash? And I think with yesterday being the 10-year anniversary of MK9, everybody looking back at that game, and me just looking back at other things, and I was watching MK Rio and MK Tom Brady and their podcast and all that, so shout out to Tom Brady, shout out to all those guys. I was watching it, and they were talking about the thing I talked about in my last video with the AT&T tournament and the Shiva stomping, basically winning the entire thing. And Rio had a point that was they would have lost to MK9 Shiva, they would have lost to, I think, MK3 Nightwolf shoulder. He was like, Mortal Kombat always has these moves that are really easy to execute, really polarizing. And I was like, that's interesting. Now, I disagree that they would have had the same issue with MK9 Shiva, because MK9 Shiva, I'm pretty sure you can just neutral jump punch, just NJP it and punish the stomp every single time. So it wasn't as fast, it wasn't as powerful. You couldn't delay it. It was pretty slow going up and coming down. It wasn't as egregious as it is in MK11 at all, right? But the important thing was him saying that there's moves like that in every MK game. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, MK, Mortal Kombat has kind of always had bullshit in it, right? And then I was thinking back to this video I saw. There's this video on YouTube called "How the CPU Cheated You in Mortal Kombat 2." It's pretty funny. It's kind of in a funny, joking manner, but it's showing you real Mortal Kombat 2 gameplay and kind of explaining what's happening. And this is kind of interesting because way back in the 90s, in the arcade era, it was very, very normal for them to kind of put shit in the arcade games to make it so you would lose, so it was quarter munching, right? So you could keep paying to play more, right? So this isn't just a Mortal Kombat thing. Street Fighter 2 did the same thing. I'm sure tons of other games did the same thing, where basically the game literally cheats you. I don't know how else to explain it. Basically, sometimes you can say you do an uppercut, but suddenly it whiffs even though they're right in front of you. Or, you do a jump kick and they should get hit, but then at the last possible frame, they switch animation and now they're in frame 7 of their jump kick when they just skip the first 6 frames, right? There are little things like that, where the CPU can grab you in situations where you can't grab them. They can basically do things that you can't do as a human being. They can press buttons way faster than you and shit like that. And it's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit, but that's what it was back in the day. And I know Mortal Kombat 2 is way back in 1992 or 93 or something, a long time ago. And that has little to do with today's game, even though that's not really true. Melina's moveset is pretty similar to that game. If you look back even to MK9, right? That game, even though MK9 was fun, it was great, I enjoyed it. Story mode was the first of many to be really amazing. I think it's super fun, but it's a broken fucking mess. Mortal Kombat 9 is nonsense, right? At the highest level, it's literally just instant air gas blast versus Kenshi versus Cyrax 100% guaranteed unblockable reset combo damage. Like, it's complete fuckery. Like, it just is, man. It just is. And like, the thing is with this video, I'm not saying I have the answer to this question. I'm really not. I do try to offer solutions in the majority of my videos, but this is a genuine question that I have. That's why I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm just shitting on Mortal Kombat talk. Like, no. I love Mortal Kombat. I'm going to continue to play every Mortal Kombat game. But was it ever like serious? Like, if in the MK9 days, the Capcom players definitely looked at the Mortal Kombat players a certain way. Like the MK9 players, and I'm sure they can attest to this. I wasn't there, but I watched it and I heard about it and I read about it on forums. I'm sure you can attest to it. They didn't get the same respect as Capcom players with MK9, right? They didn't get the same respect as Street Fighter 4 players. You know what I mean? Hell, even Marvel vs. Capcom players, and that game is bullshit too. You know, that game is all over the place nonsense as well. But you know, people love it. That's not really the issue. And MKX, I think you could argue that MKX wasn't a complete bullshit game. Even though it was 50-50 Central, which sounds very, very like, that sounds like a contradiction. But in some games you need to have 50-50s, man. Some games that's just how it be. There was a cost for some of the shit, right? Like if you wanted to just run in and mix and do shit in MKX, you either needed cancels, which costed stamina. You needed the run button, which costed stamina. You know what I mean? You needed meter to do anything. And if you spent the meter to like really get your combo damage and shit off, or you get your armor off, you wouldn't have the meter to break. Like it kind of, if you look at MKX, honestly, MKX might be the least bullshit of all these games, which sounds crazy to say because MKX was bullshit. And like Alien, when the Alien first dropped, we know what time it was. When Tanya first dropped, we know what time it was. You know what I mean? Like there was definitely some bullshit characters, but that's not an MK thing. That's Street Fighter has had that problem before. Tekken has had that problem before. Yeah, I think it's super, super interesting. And with MK11, we know the story, right? I don't need to rehash the MK11 is trash argument. Y'all know what time it is. This game is bad from just a fighting game standpoint, right? Like you can get punished for hitting your opponent, which is the entire point of the game, right? Like that alone tells me the game is fucking broken. Like universal mechanic like armor breakers isn't universal, right? Breakaway's too powerful, etc. I don't need to get into that. But there is some good news. With this game, there is some good news. And that's why Melina's here, right? Even if, and this is how I want to end the video off, right? On a positive note, even if every Mortal Kombat game is trash, I think there's hope for the future because of Melina. I think Melina embodies everything about this game. She has mix-ups, she has loads and overheads, right? And not just that, she has multiple overheads, right? She's got tons of overheads, you know what I mean? She's got some lows, she's got a low starter as well, if I can remember how to do it. Yeah. Got a low starter as well. You know, but none of it is free, right? She's got a 13 frame, you know, special move that travels across the screen like, you know, any other fuck neutral move, but look how slow it travels, right? It doesn't, like, if you get hit by full screen ball roll, it doesn't feel like you got fucking cheated. It feels like, wow, I actually didn't block that. I'm trash, right? Or maybe you can go under your projectile, right? But you might have time to recover if she tries to do it from too far away. So maybe from this range, don't throw a projectile, right? It's like when a character is designed like Melina, it's not that she's so bullshit, it's that you have to factor in her shit, right? Whereas with Sub-Zero, you just have to be preemptively blocking all the time or you're gonna get slid on. Like from this range, if you're not already blocking low when he slides, you're fucked, especially on mine. Well, Melina is not really that bullshit, and it's a mid, right? And then she has teleport, right? And she can enhance teleport, right? But on block, both of these moves, and I've talked about this before, that's why I'm just going over it briefly. On block, both of these are mad unsafe. Minus 25, right? And even if I do this version of the ball roll, minus 17, right? And at the same time, ball roll is her launcher, right? Right, and it's not a low. And if you want the dash that is a low, so you can get even more mix-ups, you lose your launcher. So my point is, Mortal Kombat may have always been trash. I don't know. Y'all leave a comment and let me know. Let me know what Mortal Kombat game, like was MKDC the game that took mad skill? I'm in my brain right now, I feel like MKX was probably the most skill-based Mortal Kombat game, which might sound like bullshit to some of y'all, but honestly, if you look at MK9, it was just complete fuckery. Like, it was like Kenshi's zoning was ridiculous. Cyrax being able to, like, if he hits you and had meter, you couldn't, like, Cyrax could drain your meter so you couldn't break out of his guaranteed 100% kill combos. Like, it's ridiculous when you think about, like, regardless of how much broken shit is in MK11, there's nothing as bad as MK9 Cabal, MK9 Cyrax, MK9 Kenshi, right? There's nothing as bad as those characters. And MKX had some shit, but I feel like MKX, at least, it was the most where you had to actually think. That's just how I feel. But anyway, sorry I got sidetracked. I think if more characters in the future, right? And I don't think they're going to add more characters for this game, but if they did another patch for this game, or for the next game, whether it's Mortal Kombat, whether it's Injustice, if they design more characters like Melina, whereas you have some bullshit moves. I can do a special move from full screen and launch you for a full combo off of it, right? 27% damage, right? The damage is not ridiculous off of it. You know what I mean? You have plenty of time to react to that. You have a million years. I have a teleport, but if it lands, I get 12% tops. 12% into a potential side switch, right? Tops, 12, 13%. And if it's blocked, I'm dead, right? This is all I've been saying for the entirety of this game's life. I don't want Mortal Kombat to not be Mortal Kombat. I don't want you to get rid of shit like this. I don't want you to get rid of teleports. I don't want you to get rid of slide, shadow kicks, ball rolls. That's Mortal Kombat, baby. Like, that's what I want. But I want it to be punishable. I want you to have to think about doing it. Like, when I fight Melina, I'm punishing every ball roll. When I fight Jade, I'm not punishing none of the shadow kicks. That's my beef. But at least at the end of the day, if they look at the right characters, they've shown us that they can do it right in this game. And I made a whole video about how Melina is the best character in the game, or best character by design standpoint. So I'm not going to go over that anymore. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Mortal Kombat was ever like very skill-based in a good fighting game, or was it shit always Mario Party, man? Was it always a dice roll? You know, that's the thing with accessibility in fighting games. If you do it wrong, like this game did accessibility wrong. It just made the entire game too easy. There's no depth. If you do it wrong, you know, then you end up with, you know, bullshit game at every level. In low level Mortal Kombat 11 looks like high level Mortal Kombat 11. It wasn't that way with MKX, and it wasn't even that way with MK9. So anyway, I just think it's an interesting talking point, but y'all let me know. Hopefully y'all enjoy. If y'all enjoy the content, sub to the channel. Try to do more. Like I said, I'm not expecting a new game to be announced until June, but we'll see, man. The movie's coming out in a couple of days. Let's see if they drop anything, or at least say something on the 23rd. At least acknowledge 2 years of MK11. So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all stay safe. JSF. I'm gone. Peace.